Hey friends, Laura here, back with the Mom Edit to talk about hand sandals for people with feet problems today. I kind of hate talking about my foot problems, but they are what they are. I have hereditary bunions. I had surgery when I was in my 20s on one foot, so I have trouble finding great sandals in general. I'm not a comfort sandal or comfort shoe person, like fashion first, sorry. I have specific requirements. I have to find things without too many straps. I can't do toe straps. I can't do between the toes. Is also super comfortable, really versatile. And while I have loved Birkenstocks for many years, I mostly wear the Arizonas in the big buckle styles. I just put them on like a couple weeks ago and I wasn't as wowed as I usually am. I think I'm just a little bored with Birkenstocks. They're still comfy, they're great. I'm sure I'll still wear mine this summer, but I was on the hunt for a great neutral sandal that went kind of with my skin tone or that goes with a lot of different stuff. I tried a bunch on the blog, but here I wanted to go over my 5 favorite from the pairs that I tried. Let's get to it. All right, so we're just gonna start with my favorites because why not? I loved the Edelman Darla slide. It's a crossover slide. It's got a buckle just for looks, not a functional buckle. It's got a really cushiony footbed. I was surprised, honestly. It covers the problem areas on my feet without pinching or pulling when I walk. And I don't want a sandal that I can't at least walk, a little bit in. These are great. They ticked all the boxes for what I was looking for with this try on. The only little thing, which wound up not being a deal breaker for me, is that it says Sam Edelman engraved on the buckle. Wasn't a deal breaker for me, but that would be the only little thing I would change if I needed to. Otherwise, 2 thumbs up on these Darla sandals. Okay, next up are the Jenni Kayne Hutton sandals, and if money were no object, which it is, but if it weren't, and if I didn't feel like they were a little too precious for a sandal for me, the Jenni Kayne Hutton sandals may have been my top pick. They're quite an investment. They are suede, so while I do always spray my shoes and that does really well, these just seemed like a little too precious, especially for the price point, but they were super comfortable. They are beautiful. They have a cool little tab closure, which you don't see on as many shoes. I kind of did like that it was more simple than the buckle on the Sam Edelman. It's nothing fancy, but they look fancy and I really love them. I like just looking at them. They're very beautiful. So definitely my second pick. For my third pick, it would have to be the Beek Galito slide. I think Shayna has these and has had them for a year or 2 and really loves them. They have that memory foam cushion sole that Beek talks about on their website. They are made in beautiful leather upper. None of these were slick on the bottom, also a bonus. These are just kind of a luxe feeling sandal. The color wasn't exactly what I wanted, and the fact that they do flop on your foot because they don't come back on the foot as much as the first 2 pairs that I talked about. If the flopping action doesn't bother you and your feet do well with that kind of a shoe, they are gorgeous. I can tell they're gonna mold to your foot beautifully. All of the Beek sandals I tried were awesome and so well constructed and gorgeous, and I think worth the price. It covered and didn't hurt my bunions at all. They look pretty on. They're not gonna look super dated. They're not gonna be, out of style anytime soon, so they would be worth the investment. 2 thumbs up on those also. There were just a couple things that didn't work for me, but highly recommend. Number 4 pick for me are the Beek Sugarbird slides. They're a little bit puffier on top than the Beek Galito slide that I just talked about. I like the color better on this, just for my closet and my skin tone and stuff. They are a little more low profile on the footbed. They were still comfortable and really well made, like you would expect from Beek and their price point, and they were a little bit cushioned for being a lower profile, flatter sandal. They flopped even a little more than the Beek Galito. It sits more up on your foot. It doesn't come back on the foot, top of the foot as much, and so for that reason, it is at number 4. If you love a slide, it doesn't bother you. These are really comfortable. They covered my bunions just fine, and they were comfortable on that part of the foot, on the toe box. Not good if you don't like the flopping action, but really beautifully made, gorgeous color, and kind of that fun pillow quilted type vibe on the top. So maybe not as classic as the Galito as far as like longevity, but I still don't think it's gonna look too trendy or anything in the near future, and they're beautifully made. So that's a number 4. And my 5th pick here, which is kind of a toss up, but one out over a fit flop pair. The Free People Verona slide is my fifth pick. It is constructed way more beautifully than I thought it might be for the price. And you know, Free People's like in-house brand, I don't know, sometimes they're kind of hit or miss, but I was really impressed. So for such a slim profile shoe, I love that it came up on the foot higher. The leather is really nice. It feels like it'll break in beautifully. And the sole was actually pretty supportive for such a like slim sole. And almost like, I don't know if this was my specific pair, but it seems like it would be across the board, almost a bit of an arch support in the shoe, which is cool for a flat sandal and why I'm putting it on the list. The good leather quality, the decent sole for such a small profile shoe. It covers the foot, it sat back farther so there wasn't as much of that flopping action. I don't know another term for that, but flopping action is what we've gone with today. It comes in a ton of colors. It's also at a really reasonable price point. The one thing that was so frustrating with these is the color on the Free People website was so different than it looked when I got it in person. It looked like a nice kind of taupe color on the site. I think it's even called taupe. And then I got it and it was definitely like a gray or like a greige color. But yeah, the Free People Verona sandal was pretty great. There we have it. 5 sandals that if you have similar feet problems to me and bunions, I know searching for shoes like this can be a real pain in the toe. Pain in the ass, let's call it what it is. Especially if you've dealt with this for years like I have. It's just really frustrating when it comes to summer. Hopefully these have given you some options to try. As always, if you like what we're doing here at the Mom Edit, please like and subscribe below. And again, the links are all down there if you want to check out any of the pieces. And I'll see you next time.